Hi, prayer partners. Hope you're having a good week. And thank you for your prayers. I know we've had some pretty serious prayer requests come through this week, and I'm so grateful to have a group of people who are faithful to pray for those things. I had an interesting conversation at the doctor's office this morning. I went in for my annual wellness check, and by the way, everything's fine. But while talking with my doctor, um, it brought up an interesting conversation. Uh, Suppose I were to ask you, are you a body that happens to have a soul, or are you a soul that just happens to have a body? You may think that's kind of a redundant question, but my point is the way you view that and how you answer that question will determine where you put the greater emphasis. For instance, if I have the view and I have the belief that I am a body that just happens to have a soul, where do you think I'm going to put the most emphasis on? My body or my soul? If I have the viewpoint that I am a soul that's going to live for eternity and I just happen to have a body to carry me around while I'm here on this earth, where do you think I'm going to put the most emphasis? It's going to be on the soul, that which lasts forever. Verse I'm reminded of in thinking about those things is in 3rd John. The apostle writes, and he says, "To the elder, the well beloved Gaius, whom I love in truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." In other words, there John is putting the emphasis on the soul. He's writing to a friend, somebody he cares about a great deal, and he says, "I'm so glad to know that you are doing wonderful spiritually, and I pray that you would do just as well physically." John was reminding us and reminding his friend Gaius, we are an eternal soul that just happens to have a body. We will live for all eternity. And the difference is made by where we put that emphasis. If we put that emphasis on the soul, we're going to pay more attention to things like prayer, discovering our spiritual gifts, our relationship with God, our intimacy and prayer time and fellowship with God. All of those things are going to take priority to us. If we have the emphasis that I am a body that just happens to have a soul, I'm going to focus mostly on body. I'm going to be more concerned about those things. My doctor was talking to me about some things that constantly need attention in our lives, and it's especially as we get a little bit older. And I said, I understand that those things are important, and I'm doing my best to kind of take care of it. But I said, Doc, I've reached that station in life where I'm a whole lot closer to the exit than I am the entrance. And yes, those things concern me, but what I'm more concerned about, on that day that I stand before Him, when my soul leaves this earthly body behind and it just turns to dust, will I be able to stand before Him without any guilt of conscience? I think that's something we all ought to explore from time to time. I think we need to do that soul checkup, take that spiritual physical, and I guess maybe it'd be better called a spiritual rather than a physical, wouldn't it? We realize the importance of having that physical checkup every year, but I think we need to a whole lot more than just once a year take that spiritual inventory and say, Lord, where's my soul with you? Am I prospering? Is my soul healthy? Am I reading my Bible as I should? am I having time with you? Do I come to you as a first resource or as a last resort? I'm hoping this week that as we go through our prayer time and as the prayer requests come in, that we would realize we have a Father in heaven who loves us so much. He cares about every detail of our lives. He wants to have fellowship with us and to be able to communicate with us through His Word, through His Holy Spirit, through other believers. And there are certain things that I need to pay attention to. And so this week, as those prayer requests come in, I want you to also think about getting your spiritual update and doing it more than just once a year. Hope this causes some thought and maybe some Bible study for you this week. And I appreciate again so much your willingness to pray. God bless and have a great week.